All right, YouTube. This Detroit's HPTV coming to you out of Detroit. Back with another video. It's Wednesday morning hump day. And I want to hit on some real serious topics this morning. I want to get heavy with you guys because it's a lot going on, especially in this country, in the black community, with all the violence and mass shootings that went on over the Fourth of July weekend with Joe Biden, your president, in straight cognitive decline, Trump derangement syndrome, hypocrisy. The list goes on and on and on. I got a couple clips I want to show you. I want to show you a clip of Malcolm X, and I want to show you a clip of Whoopi Goldberg. Now, you may say that's an odd couple, Whoopi Goldberg and then Malcolm X, but I'm going to make it make sense for you. You know, I had a friend of mine call me yesterday, and he was going through a lot of trouble. But so we talked on the phone, and he was like, "Bro, I be watching your podcast. I just want to say you brave." And I was like, they say that a lot in my comments. A lot of the subscribers be saying that. He's like, "You brave." I be like, "Brave what?" He say, "Man, all the stuff you've been through in the streets, you know, and you can get on there and you can say the things you say with conviction. That's brave to me." So I never thought about it like that. I always assumed, I ain't never been rich or had no lot of money. You know what I mean? But I did have my word, and I wasn't scared to speak up for myself. I wasn't scared to stand up for myself. So telling the truth comes naturally to me. Why? Because I think that a liar is a weak person. You know, I'm gonna give you a quick synopsis or something, or a quick story. When I was a kid, I used to get in trouble all the time. And, my father would come home, my mother would tell him what I did, and he would ask me, "Why did you do this, that, or the other? Why did you break the window? Why did you do this?" When I was real young, I would lie. "I didn't do it," or "I did it because of this." And then he would beat the hell out of me. So I got to the point I realized that he didn't want me making excuses and didn't want me lying. So one day I did something, I can't remember what it was, and my father came home. He was like, he had the same ritual. He'd sit in the chair, had a belt, and look at me and say, "Why did you do such and such?" I said, "Because I wanted to. I felt like it." And he said, "Well, I feel like beating your A right now." And I got my whooping. But it wasn't bad as it was when I used to try to lie. So that became our thing. He asked, if I do something and I get caught, he asked me why I did it. I said, "Because I felt like it." He said, "Well, I feel like beating you A right now." And that's how I was raised. So when I got to be an adult, I didn't allow people to question me. If I was in a relationship with a woman, she couldn't question me. "Where you going?" "I look at you like you crazy. I don't answer no questions." When I started getting in the street, I found out about the Fifth Amendment. I really wasn't going to be questioned. "Do you know what's in this pack?" "No." Fifth Amendment. Remain silent. I'm not going to be questioned, because people who allow themselves to be questioned a lot have a tendency to lie when the answer doesn't benefit them. So I never really thought that lying and not speaking up for yourself was a good character trait. So that made me, his conversation with me made me look into things. And then later on that day, I started looking at Facebook, looking at my timeline. I knew just a lot of guys in Detroit that was in the joint. You know what I mean? They was in the joint. And I ain't talking about they paid Stormy Daniels hush money. I'm talking about these Negroes jump out the car with the blicky and run up on you and jack you and take the bag and then be running from the Jake type being in the jail. But they rehabilitated now and they out in the community and they got nonprofits and they trying to get grant money and they want to be seen as pillars of community and they pay their debt to society. No problem with that. But when I seen that these Negroes was saying, don't vote for Trump because he's a convicted felon in their time, they was like, really? I'm talking about these hardcore felons that's trying to be community activists was actually saying, don't vote for Trump because he's a felon. He bribes them. Man, didn't you flood the whole east side with smack? Didn't you go and do 20 years for a drive-by? And you say you rehabilitated and to trust you with grant money and to trust you with the minds of the youth. If that wasn't hypocrisy, I was like, these hypocrites is crazy. They don't even realize what they saying. They speaking on themselves. Because wasn't Malcolm X a felon? Didn't they consider Martin Luther King a felon? Didn't they consider George Washington, Thomas Jefferson, and John Adams felons? Wait a minute. Didn't they consider Jesus a criminal and a felon? Y'all say he was crucified for crimes against the state. But wow, it just was strange hearing it coming from these street dudes, mimicking the Democratic talking points. And these were the same guys that had been in a joint under the Joe Biden 94 crime bill and the drug laws. They were actually victims of Biden's. I don't got to worry about them seeing this and being mad because although they may speak to me and call me their friend, they don't watch my channel. You know what I mean? They don't support the channel, so they will probably have to hear about it to know I think Dre was talking about you. Oh, that's another thing I noticed about YouTube or anything that you do. The people that's closest around you, they will never support you. Like if you look at my membership, I don't know personally anybody in the membership. I went through hard times and made a video. No person I know or family member helped me when I was losing my place. It was all subscribers off the channel. See, the people that claim to love you and know you, they don't respect what you do and they don't think that you should be listened to. But to me, that's another form of hypocrisy too, or jealousy, or maybe they're just sticking around to wait to see if I'm gonna fall on my face. That might be it. Because I remember when I went to college and they told my mother, well, you know, he's going to college now. And her and my uncle sat there, they said, he ain't gonna do nothing but mess that up. Went all the way, got a degree in the honor society. And to the day they still waiting on me to mess up and fall on my face. See, that's how a lot of people do you. They hang around to see if you're gonna fail. I got a cousin. I did a video a couple days ago. And in the video, I talked about the mass shooting on the east side. Did the video, sent the video straight to her messages. So I didn't hear anything back from her. The next day, she got in touch with me and said, did you hear about the shooting on the east side? I said, I sent you the video. Oh, too lazy to play it, too lazy to leave a comment, too lazy to support the channel. But I remember a time every week she wasn't too lazy to borrow $20 for gas money. I don't got to worry about her seeing this either because she's not going to watch it. You know, so you can talk about the people right around you because they're not going to watch your channel because they actually waiting on you to fail. For real. So back to what I was saying about the hypocrisy, the timeline, different things, and even about it all going to tie in the Trump derangement and people touring the company line, the hypocrisy. These guys were saying that a felon get in the White House, but they fellas around here trying to get grant money. You know, same people. This is another story. I got another friend. He texts me every day. Every day he texts me. Right. Every day I make a video. I send him a video. He has never watched one of my videos. but he tell you he love you and all of that. He's never watched them. He didn't even know that I had lost my apartment, and I made a whole video about it and sent it to him. I never mentioned it to him, and he never mentioned it again. I was like, I was going through this or whatever. But these are the people that say they care or they support you. In doing things, you have to not even expect support from where you be. You have to automatically assume that they're going to be the naysayers waiting on you to fail. So anyway, let's get back on topic. I was watching this clip of Whoopi Goldberg. Whoopi Goldberg said she don't care if Joe Biden is going around here pooping his pants, comatose, whatever. She's going to vote for him. Guess what, though? If you're a Christian or Muslim or Jew, how could you vote for the Democratic Party? They are running on abortion, gender identification with children, prosecuting two different wars, two proxy wars, and open borders, and the list goes on. How can you, doesn't abortion, gender reassignment, don't those things go against the Bible and the Quran? So you're a Democrat over being black. You're a Democrat over being Christian or Muslim. Or is it that you kind of like messing with kids and the things that they promote secretly? Because at this point, you got to really ask yourself, why are these people so gung ho about the Democratic Party when they clearly see what they was doing? They got a video. It's in my community section where Michelle Obama and Obama was at Weinstein. They were talking about how Weinstein and Epstein were great people, and Hillary being on Epstein's list. And when Trump was talking about the trafficking and draining the swamp, he was talking about them. So it's like you say you're Christians, or you say you Muslim, but you're a Democrat, or you the ones that say I'm going to opt out. I'm going to sit on the couch. Those are the most arrogant ones, the ones that I'm not going to vote for either. Like, don't nobody care. You irrelevant. You irrelevant because you don't even have a political mind to understand that that's what they want you to do. They don't want you to. They don't want you to vote. And then you're not intelligent enough to vote to make the right decision. So proudly sit on the couch. Nobody's concerned with you on that couch. But I'm talking about this hypocrisy, And then we talk about this was a Judeo-Christian nation, and we so religious in the black community. I talked about that the other day. We so religious. We listen to gospel, but we are so a debaucherous people. With all the BBLs and twerking and drug use and then we think that we could be accepted to God without any repentance. You don't have to repent. You don't have to atone. You just throw on Kirk Franklin and shake it up and, drive by church on Sunday. See, that's the reason that the community is the way it is. That's the reason you can sit up and you can watch the children be destroyed and you don't say nothing because it's not your kid yet. See, it's not your kid yet. But when it becomes your kid, then it's an epidemic. Then it's pandemonium. They was talking about these preachers the other day. They were walking. We're gonna walk. But they don't ever walk where the violence is. Walk and stand in front of that crack house. You know what I mean? Do something other than talk. That's a hustle. I told you the other day, and I guess this is brave to talk about these people because they will get mad at you. It's just, especially in the black community, they ain't gonna do nothing against the oppressor, but they'll try to whoop my head for saying something. You know what I mean? That's how they always have been. You know what I mean? That's why Malcolm X is no longer here. You know, but you got to think about what they say. I had to stop even debating with him. I remember it was one person, he was telling me that he was a Hebrew Israelite and he had the Bible and Europeans was the devil and all this. And I said, well, I'm not going to debate you. And he said, why not? Why you not going to debate me? And I was like, because the word Hebrew is Greek. And it's a transliteration from the word Eber from the Old Testament. So we're not even finna get off into what you believe because you don't even know what the word on the cover Bible means. I've talked to these people and asked them, what does the word Bible mean on the cover? And they can't even tell you. How you believe in a book and base your whole life on a book and you don't even know what the word on the cover means? The word on the cover Bible comes from Biblios, which was a place in Phoenicia that grew papyrus. That's where the word comes from. Then you tell a Muslim, uh, Prophet Muhammad never learned to read or write. But in the Quran is mostly out of the Torah and the gospel. And black people came in contact with Islam through the Arab slave trade. The Arabs created and were the architects of enslaving Africans. Because the Quran is only 1,400 years old, right? But y'all talk about y'all been on this planet for thousands of years. But you love the Arabs and you identify with the Arabs. You identify with the Christians. You identify with everything that one of your masters tell you. You very seldom do research. You very seldom use wisdom. You should see how some of them get in the comments sometimes. And I'm waiting on the Most High. He gonna destroy this, and you know they be high. Like you had, you waiting, like you think God gonna destroy everything, and you just gonna sit there high and watch it play out with your sinful nature. Like really. So we talking about hypocrisy in this country. We talking about why you can actually let Jim Crow Joe and his gang of segregationists and cronies fearmonger you into voting for them. You should see the timeline talking about y'all should check out 2025. It's some guys on there talking about that I know personally, talking about, man, you should read 2025. They don't do nothing but drink more liquor and can barely read. No, they ain't doing nothing but repeating something they heard. Facts. But they just putting it out there because that's the line. That's the derangement. Guy can barely read. No, he only thing he done heard somebody say something about 20 Project 2025, and he putting it out there in the community because he's a slave. Democrats made you slaves. They used the Willie Lynch letter. No matter what you think about your community and your neighborhood, every one of you just want to be better than the next one. It's women in relationships. The only reason they with the man is because they think they better than him, and that's give them a reason to feel good about themselves, and vice versa. If a guy got $5 more than you, he think he better than you. Who made you like this? Gave you that slave mentality to where you can actually get in front of your people and say the most idiotic things. Joe Biden called you super predators. To have to be brought to heel. Said that he didn't want his kids going to school should be racial jungles. I mean, there is nobody who said and done more racist things than Joe Biden. And y'all saying y'all will vote for him regardless. Trump didn't even become a racist to black people until he got into politics. Before that, he been running around with Mike Tyson, Tupac, and Everybody want to go to his casinos and Trump Towers and all of that. It's crazy. The level, I mean, it's almost like ignorance and hypocrisy have become a thing joined at the hip. But I've talked too much right now. I wanted to show you this clip. We're gonna deal with Whoopi Goldberg first, so you can get an idea of what I'm talking about. This for fair use under the 1976 Copyright Act for commentary and education. Check out Whoopi and what she said.
News that will surprise absolutely no one. Whoopi Goldberg of America's much-loved show The View proved once again what we already know, and that is there is absolutely no situation in which they will not vote for Biden. Have a watch.
I don't care if he's pooped his pants. I don't care if he can't put a sentence together. Show me he can't do the job, and then I'll say, okay, maybe it's time to go. Now, he had a bad night the first time that he went out and debated with.
So this is what I'm talking about when I say hypocrisy. She said she don't care if he poops his pants. So that means he can't control his bowel movements. Then she goes on to say, I don't care if he can't put a sentence together, which means he's cognitively compromised. But then she says, I still vote for him. And this is somebody that, she gets on there, she has an audience, and they listen to her. And she say stupid crap like this. This is dumb.
Kamala Harris. And everybody wanted him to quit that and say, you can't talk to women like this, or you're doing this wrong, you're doing that wrong. He came back, said, you know what, I got it, and gave 4 years. So, yeah, I have poopy days all the time. I step in so much poo you can't even imagine.
Unbelievable. So clearly, according to Whoopi Goldberg and the ladies on The View, pooping your pants and being unable to form a sentence.
I wanted you to see one more. I got to show you this one. I think this is it.
Now, speaking of derangement, the old gender benders. We love nothing more than when they keep coming up with brand new. Now, speaking of derangement.
Now, listen to this. This is something. Then I'm going to go right off into Malcom X after this clip. But look at this. Look what you're voting for.
Now, speaking of derangement, the old gender benders. We love nothing more than when they keep coming up with brand new lucrative ways to describe themselves.
You accept that you're a male. Would other? Yeah, every trans person, every trans woman. I mean, is like, yeah, I'm a male woman. Why can't you be a male woman? Like, that's what y'all don't understand. No, yeah, I'm not saying I'm a cis woman. I never said that. I'm just saying I'm a male woman. Just treat me like a woman.
A male woman. Cute. It's kind of cute, isn't it? And newsflash, a man is a man and a woman is a woman. Now, if you are looking for gender-neutral terms to call your family members, good news. This is the help you've been waiting for.
Dear Dolly, are there gender-neutral alternatives to terms like niece and nephew and aunt and uncle? Yes, there are. A gender-neutral term to replace niece or nephew is nibbling. It takes sibling and uses the N from niece and nephew. It was actually coined in 1951 by Yale linguist Samuel Martin. And similarly, we have pibbling, parent sibling, the P from parent, and sibling, pibbling, to replace aunt and uncle.
I mean, can you imagine? Please let me introduce you to my nibbling and my pibbling. Oh, nibbling, could you please stop nibbling and pass the peas, please? And stop nibbling, you're on our last nerve. Now over to our friends at The View. What would a lefty's losing it be without?
Now this from Australian news and how they be doing the news on us. I'm gonna cut it short because I want to show you. And I want to show you that Malcom X said. This is Malcom X speaking on liberals.
In this crooked game of power politics here in America, the Negro, namely the race problem, integration, civil rights issue, are all nothing but tools used by the whites who call themselves liberals against another group of whites who call themselves conservatives, either to get into power or to retain power. Among whites here in America, the political teams are no longer divided into Democrats and Republicans. The whites who are now struggling for control of the American political throne are divided into liberal and conservative camps. The white liberals from both parties cross party lines to work together toward the same goal. And white conservatives from both parties do likewise. The white liberal differs from the white conservative only in one way. The liberal is more deceitful, more hypocritical than the conservative. Both want power, but the white liberal is the one who has perfected the art of posing as the Negro's friend and benefactor. And by winning the friendship and support of the Negro, the white liberal is able to use the Negro as a pawn or a weapon in this political football game that is constantly raging between the white liberals and the white conservatives. The American Negro is nothing but a political football, and the white liberals control this ball through tricks or tokenism, false promises of integration and civil rights. In this game of deceiving and using the American Negro, the white liberals have complete cooperation of the Negro civil rights leaders, who sell our people out for a few crumbs of token recognition, token gains, token progress. In the New York Tribune, in an editorial dated February.
That's why you don't see all the tokens coming out saying, vote blue no matter who. They tokens. Malcom X said that in 65. They're tokens. They are selling you out. The Roland Martins, the Whoopi Goldbergs, the TD Jakes, even those Negroes I know here in Detroit trying to act like they activists just talking about Project 25 and supporting the Democrats. They trying to sell out. They trying to get a grant. They trying to get a 501c3. Because clearly you can recognize that the play is going down. Ain't nobody that blind that they can't see that these Democrats, they lied to your face. They lied. They called Trump a liar. I swear they lied so much that you didn't want to believe everything Trump said because they lie so much. If they tell you it's going to be sunny, you better get an umbrella. But they find these tokens that come out and they just told the company line like they've been, oh, you used to see the timeline. Look into Project 2025. Look at it. These Negroes ain't read the introduction. They just done heard something, pick something up there and see and saying something because they want somebody to listen to them. I told you everybody wants status and tokenism is the order of the day. Period. Ain't about no community development. No development of nuclear families. Everybody wants to feel better than somebody else because of the epidemic of self-loathing in the community.
February the 5th, 1960, they pointed out that out of 11 million qualified Negro voters, only 2,700,000 actually take time to vote. This means that, roughly speaking, only 3 million out of the 11 million Negroes who are qualified to vote take an active part. And the remaining 8 million remain voluntarily inactive. And yet it is this small minority, the 3 million Negro voters, who help determine who will be the next president. If who will be the next president can be influenced by 3 million Negro voters, it is easy to see why the presidential candidates of both political parties put on such a false show with the Civil Rights Bill, and promises of integration. They must impress the 3 million voting Negroes who are the actual integration seekers. And if so much fuss is made over these 3 million integration seekers, what would the presidential candidates have to do to appease the 8 million non-voting Negroes if they ever decided to become politically?
I'm going to stop there because, and then I'll finish it at another time, or I'll put in the community section. He says that the 3 million voters, they are the ones who get catered to. You know what I mean? The Roland Martins and the D.L. Hughley's, you know, they elite the tokens because they use the tokens as gatekeepers for the other 8 million. This is why you can get and see Whoopi Goldberg sit in front of you and say she's going to vote for Joe Biden no matter what. This is why they could tell you Project 2025 is the end of democracy. They can tell you these things because they are the gatekeepers, they are the tokens, and you want to be like them, and they want to be like Massa. It's a low self-esteem. It's bootlicking, buck dancing to its finest. Then they say somebody conservative is doing that because they're a free thinker, because they say, I'd rather negotiate with Trump as a businessman than to deal with Jim Crow Joe. I told you about the Negroes down here in Detroit. They were victims of the 94 crime bill. Victims. But for a grant or some status, they'll speak out against themselves, saying, how can you trust a felon in the White House? How can we trust your felonious behind with grant money and leading people or even talking to children? How can we trust you? If that's the status you're looking for, we're going to trust you for. We really can't trust you because you're towing the company line. You will sell your people out just to be close and get a whiff of power. You ain't read that. You ain't read none of that. That's why you just put it out there. You got to check out Project 2025. And you got, man, you a dummy. I went to school with some of them. They dumb. Been dumb. But because they can reiterate the company line and the Democratic talking points, you listen. And because you like to cheat on your wife and you like to do all these things in the dark that you think you can pray away on Sunday, you don't mind voting against the Bible, voting against Christianity, voting against being a Muslim. You don't mind voting against none of the stuff you say you believe because at the core, you know you're a hypocrite. You already have accepted the fact that you are a hypocrite. You already accepted the fact that you will not repent and you will not atone and you don't believe in hell. You confused. They know you confused. You're a confused person. If you thought you was going to burn up forever, you wouldn't do half the stuff that you do. If you thought you was going to burn up for eternity, you're faking. So of course you're going to fake in your politics. You're going to fake in your relationships. And you're going to sit up and you're going to watch the youth and the children of your community die in the name of your liberalism. Well, I've talked too much. It's ran over 30 minutes. I'm going to sign out to you. It's Wednesday hump day. Enjoy the rest of your day. Support Detroit's Black Thought and Ask Collective, nonprofit out of Detroit. I'm ending this podcast. It's Detroit's HPTV. Signing out. As always, salute to all patriots. Like, share, and subscribe. Peace.